English theatre hit its stride during the Elizabethan era, when the works of the prolific William Shakespeare entertained countless audiences. According to his play A Midsummer Night's Dream, the course of true love never did run smooth, and neither did that of playwriting, as Shakespeare and his contemporaries found out. Censorship, the practice of officially examining something and suppressing the unacceptable parts, has always been used as a means of oppression to maintain a status quo. Sir Francis Walsingham, Queen Elizabeth's Secretary of State, ruthlessly censored anything he felt went against the Protestant agenda, as fears of a Catholic coup were still quite strong. Playwrights were targeted especially, given that, according to PBS, the theater was the only real mass entertainment, with the exception of public executions and blood sports, which it could be argued expressed their own political message, able to convey ideas to a large audience. As a result, playwrights faced pressure from those above them and even violence. Thomas Kyd was tortured near death because of a misreading of his work, and Christopher Marlowe's murder is thought to possibly be connected to his outspoken verse. Shakespeare alludes to Marlowe's murder, with a character in As You Like It saying, "When a man's verses cannot be understood, nor a man's good wit seconded with the forward child understanding, it strikes a man more dead than a great reckoning in a little room." In the sonnets, he references state interference by complaining of being tongue-tied by authority. However, censorship in English theatre isn't something that was only alive 400 years ago. It persisted and is still prevalent today. During the interregnum, or time between kings period, theatre censorship only intensified. After the English Civil War, Cromwell became Lord Protector and the Puritans ran the country. There was little theatre as it was thought sinful until a law was passed in 1642 that outlawed it entirely. For the next 18 years, there was no theatre. In the 1700s, the Licensing Act of 1737 tightened theatre censorship and placed it under the control of the Lord Chamberlain. Satire was the genre of choice, and still continued to be a crowd favorite despite attempts to suppress it. During the reign of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, the Regulation Act of 1843 superseded the Licensing Act, further censoring theatre. The Lord Chamberlain now had to approve any piece that wanted to be performed, and could forbid the performance of any part of the play or the play itself if he felt it necessary. This oppression began to wane in the 1900s. The government inquired into censorship in 1909, and prolific playwrights such as J.M. Barrie, Harley Granville Barker, and George Bernard Shaw tried to end the Lord Chamberlain's reign. On September 26th, after 231 years of censored English theatre, the Lord Chamberlain finally lost the power to do so with the passage of the Theatres Act of 1968. Despite the eradication of the Lord Chamberlain's official censorship in the 20th century, it did not disappear in the 21st. This new form of oppression differs from those that came before it. Rather than a stifling of anything that could be politically unfavorable to whoever was in power, it is now a result of the presentation of religion and race. Political incorrectness, instead of political dissent, is being persecuted. In 2004, Gurpreet Kaur Bahati's play, Bzetti, caused a violent protest because it portrayed a rape in a Sikh temple, eventually leading to her stopping the play. This January, a play called The Bible, the Complete Word of God, was cancelled after claims it was blasphemous. Self-censorship has become the vogue for many playwrights and creative directors, as it is safer than risking public outcry. With the oppressive power of the law no longer dictating everything that could be on the stage, it may seem as though theatre is now free, but that is not the case. We have created our own cage, limiting ourselves because of our own closed-mindedness.